Yo, this is Soul Drum 86 bringing you another video. So hopefully I don't make this video as long as my other ones, man. I appreciate you guys for the ones who do stay for the entire video and you guys like these like long form videos. I typically have a lot to say, so that's why they run long because, I just have a lot to say on these topics. But I did want to kind of really address this because I hear it all the time, right? So we have the argument of, nobody's forcing you to buy XYZ, right? When it comes to microtransactions, when it comes to, DLC or anything like that, or even special edition of a game, they always say, well, nobody's forcing you to. Not really. Yes, like you're right, but not really. We always have a choice, but it's not as black and white as people make it out to be, right? So let me just give you a couple examples. So let's go with streaming services. Netflix. When Netflix first arrived onto the scene, had a ton of movies in the library, ton of TV shows, no ads, and it was $9.99 or maybe even cheaper a month. And eventually they start upping the price. They start adding different tiers. And now they're to a point where if you have the lowest package, the cheapest package a month, you get ads. And then on top of that, you don't get all the movies that are available on the site, which is ridiculous when you really think about it. So you don't get the ads, or you get the ads and you don't get all the movies. Now, you don't have to upgrade, but they kind of throw those little things at you where it's like, well, if you don't want to rent the movie, if you missed it in theaters, and you don't want to, you don't want to rent the movie, it's not available anywhere else unless you pay for it or buy it outright. If you just want to check it out, that used to be the next best thing to do, is wait for a streaming service to have it and have it for free and just watch it. Well, there's been movies that have come to Netflix that if you don't have the package that allows you to watch it, you can't watch it. It will literally say this movie is not available for ad services. You have to go to our ad-free services. So you have to pay to play. Right? When you go to games like NBA 2K, you don't have to monetize the game. Personally, I was always an offline guy anyway. But I have experience playing my career, creating my player, trying to get on the park to see what it's about. If you have a brown shirt on and you have gray sweatpants, if you're a 77 overall, nobody's going to want to play with you. So what do you have to do? Right? Again, you don't have to. But these developers, these companies know how to entice you to pay to play. Oh, you want to get in the game on my park? Well, start adding in money to make your player an 80 something overall, 90 something overall day one. I mean, I still remember when I was still playing 2K, NBA 2K. I would get on the park just because I did like going through my career to play the NBA games. I would only stay focused on the NBA stuff. But when I was in the neighborhood and stuff like that, I would come across all these players day one that were like 90 something overall. And I'm like, wow. So you guys paid for the game. You also then paid all that money to get your player up to speed to be with everybody else. So it's just like, well, again, you don't have to buy the microtransactions. You don't have to use real world money. You can go no money spent, right? But if you want to play with those guys and you want to kind of be able to be competitive, they leave you kind of with no choice. Yes, you have a choice, but if you want to actually have fun with that specific mode, you kind of don't have a choice, but you do. You see what I'm saying? It's all just kind of implied, right? Your freedom of choice isn't totally there depending on how you want to enjoy the game. And so then you have a lot of people talking about, 2K and WWE 2K. Well, you don't have to get the Monday Night Wars edition. I don't really recommend anybody getting it, even though at the same time, I can see that it's the best deal for anybody who just plays 2K, or if there's somebody who just wants everything that the game has to offer kind of right away. But yeah, we don't have to pay for any premium ringside passes. We don't have to pay for the Monday Night Wars edition, the Attitude Era edition, the King of Kings edition. Yes, people can just choose to play the standard edition of the game. But then there's that thing of, well, what are they locking behind all of these other tiers? Okay. That's another thing that you have to think about. Okay, there might be arenas that are locked behind things. Well, yes, you can go to Community Creations and download that arena. Cool. There's certain superstars that are locked behind these certain tiers. Might I add, superstars that we've gotten before in previous games. So then what do? You go to Community Creations, you try to find the best one, you try to find at least a really good one and download. But here's the catch. Okay, here's the catch, especially depending on when somebody actually purchases WWE 2K26. Because I've dealt with this before. You go through Community Creations, you don't have any of the DLC because you're kind of waiting to be picky and choosy about which DLC you want, especially if you didn't buy the season pass. So you go through and you see a character that you like. Oh, this is a cool, like, Bam Bam Bigelow. So let me download this. Can't download it because you don't have the parts that this creator used, because the parts that the creator used to make this character are a part of this DLC, or they unlock this in this mode and they got these extra call parts that you don't have. So therefore, you cannot download that said superstar. So do you see what I'm saying? You're kind of always in this situation of like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't have to buy this, but in a way they're kind of forcing me to, because no matter what I do, they're locking me out of enjoying the game to a certain aspect, whatever I do. Right. So, yes, I can choose not to buy this DLC, but if this creator used these parts and I don't have that DLC, then I can't then download that call. See what I'm saying? So it's more than just, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to. Yes, nobody has a weapon to your head forcing you to buy anything. Right. And I do think that, yes, there is a time where people can, not give in, stay strong, and not be pressured into buying these microtransactions and DLC and things like that. But at the same time, I can never really blame them. I've said it on videos, and people sometimes get upset at me for saying it, but I've said it in a lot of my videos. I don't blame the people who buy DLC and purchase microtransactions, even though I will also mention the fact that us doing this has empowered these companies to get even more money hungry. Right. I know that I'm saying two things, right? I'm saying two things. I'm not upset with these people, but I understand that these people doing this has kind of led us to the situation that we're in. But I don't blame them. So there was the guy that said that, we're lazy because we don't want to grind. Right. And then people like to always mention that, well, I have a 9 to 5. I have a family. I do this and blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty busy and I don't mind grinding. I play the game hours upon hours, even though my life is full of responsibilities and blah, 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 blah. That's good for you, but that's not everybody. Just because you have a 9 to 5, just because you work hard at your 9 to 5 and you have a family to take care of, and you can find time to play a video game hours upon hours upon hours that you get, that's all gravy. But that's you. That's not everybody's situation. And this is why I say that the gaming community is really in shambles. It's really not a community because we don't really stick up for one another. You have pockets of people who kind of align with certain ideals and they think the same. But for the most part, you really don't have people saying like, this isn't right. You know what I mean? Just because you can do something and somebody else can't do it, we're just going to drop our sympathy for the people who can't do it, where we're going to act like we don't understand everybody's life is different and everybody's priorities are different. People have told me in my comment section in these last few videos that I've made that, yes, I don't have time to grind. I just want to get on the game to relax and chill. And we all want to do that. Let's honestly be real with ourselves. Video games have always been an outlet. It's a way to escape. It's not a way to grind. We grind every day of our lives. We grind paying bills. We grind going to work. We grind going to school. We grind studying. The grind is always there. We grind raising kids. We grind taking care of pets and all of this other type of stuff. Life is full of a grind. So when I get on a video game, excuse me if I don't feel like being a part of the grind, especially if I have to grind for something that I paid for, when it used to just be given to you right away. And I can make arguments that we've never should have been paying for this stuff to begin with. It should have been stuff that we played the game just to unlock normally, like we did in the past. We can't just keep continuing to say that, oh, because I can do this, then everybody else should be able to do it. You're lazy or you're making excuses. No, we just want to enjoy the game in a different kind of way. And when these companies make these kind of, money hungry practices, it prevents us from enjoying the game the way that we want to enjoy the game. In fact, they force us to play the game that they force us to play how they want us to play. We don't really truly have the freedom to play the game the way that we want to. Yes, I understand that with these ringside passes, you can play any mode to unlock these things, but we don't know yet what that entails. We'll get more details on it, but what if there's a star rating attached to it, right? If you're playing universe mode, you have to play 5 matches a night in each of your shows, and you have to average a 5-star rating. You have to do this move off of a cage. Make sure you set up this kind of match. We don't know, because certain things are going to give you more points than others. You have to imagine it's going to be like that. Are they going to be stingy on the XP that they give you to eventually unlock these characters? How easy or how difficult is it going to be? Is it going to be too stressful for people who just simply want to create their universe mode, their storylines? I'm thinking about everybody when I make these videos. I'm not just thinking about me, because again, I don't play the game anymore. I'm thinking about the people who still play, the people who put their hard-earned money behind this game, the people who put their free time behind this game. Why is it so bad to ask for an experience that is fair for everybody? Why is that so difficult? We have allowed a monster to plague the gaming industry. And we have allowed these companies to continue to take advantage and put it to us in a way where they make it seem like, oh, this is okay. This is fine. Nothing about this is okay. Nothing about this is fine. But those are just my thoughts. You guys let me know what you feel in the comment section. Please, please, please stop telling people that, if I can grind and I can do this, then so can you. You don't know these individual people's lives. Everybody plays games for a different reason, and everybody plays games of a specific way. I've seen already so many people play universe mode differently. I know people who set up universe mode and watch it like it's a show. I've seen people who set up universe mode and play every single match that they design. I've seen people just play the matches that have storylines attached to it, like rivalries. I've seen all different ways that people play universe mode. They should be allowed to play the game that way. They spent their money. You should be able to play the game any way that you want to. You spent the money. It's as simple as that. But yet now you're in a situation where you have to spend even more money to get this character or get this arena, and then to get these characters, to get these arenas, to get these call parts for the people who create these magnificent wrestlers and arenas for us to download. It's going to be even harder for them because they're going to need the call parts. So then now they have to grind for all of this extra stuff that really should just be already there, especially if you pay $150 for a game. $200 if you're in Canada. It's crazy, man. But let me know what you feel in the comment section, man. It's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.